Everybody, so this is my environmental science final. It's going to be about blackout curtains. I'll get to that in a little bit. Background of the problem, right? So I live in the dorms, been living in the dorms since August, and besides the problematic people I run into, that's not exactly an environmental issue, but because of lovely problematic people, I have had to move rooms 3 times actually. And we live in Arizona, right? It's hotter than hell here, and AC units have to bust their ass to cool anything down. I walk into the rooms, and they have flimsy blinds that definitely don't insulate or block anything. They're just pathetic decoration at that point. But anyways, we need to figure out better insulation for the rooms to cut back on the loss of energy just from the AC units kicking in at high power all the time. Even in the winter months, we don't pay for the power. We will put it at whatever temperature and leave it regardless of what the weather is outside. What's causing the problem? Probably whoever designed the building. Founders is old, it's deteriorating, and of course rent is going up every year because of the things they have to accommodate for. I also guess it's Arizona's fault for being so damn hot out, but that's not really something we can control. Why is it a problem, and to whom? I'm sure founders would love a cheaper energy bill, cheaper anything really. AC is one of the things that is probably the most expensive. A lot of people like their cool, chilly rooms, and it'd be better if we could control the temperature better without the AC on 24/7. And students are probably not aggravated. Students are probably aggravated that it's not cool enough at 72 in the room. It's not. I mean, I walk into a human room at 73 here. It's not okay. And founders is probably gagged over the bills just a little bit, but the environmental impact of this problem, so the average and typical air conditioner will consume about 3,000 to 5,000 watts of electricity every hour. And the warmer it is, the more power is used, and I don't want to know how much power we use in Arizona. But in just Arizona alone, an entire quarter of the power consumption is just AC. Imagine what it's like in a building where the kids don't pay, it's the business who's providing the space to stay in, and we have no care in the world what they pay. So we are essentially wasting power because we sure as hell can. And so this power can be for sure utilized elsewhere. And where, you might ask? Simple, literally everywhere else where the 10 providers in AZ can use it. How have other organizations handled similar issues? Think of hotels, really. I've been to plenty of hotels over the years who have thick, usually ugly, but they actually have thick curtains over the windows. Some have white liners, then the curtains themselves. White reflects the heat, then you get blackout curtains to cover the entirety of the window. And so my English again. Alright, so my proposed solution is to install curtain rods above the blinds into the actual wall. That way the curtains can cover the window in its entirety. Buy thick, real blackout curtains, don't go cheap. And buy a white liner for extra reflection because the white blinds leave gaps. And, problem solved. What resources are required to do the project? So kids don't even actually have to move out for this. They just need to make the window area accessible. And that's simple to do instead of just moving everything when all they have to do is access a window. But also placing bulk orders for rods, with places to screw the rod into for support, the curtains and the liners, probably a couple hundred because there's 3 floors and there's several rooms. Anyways, try to do it in between semesters to not cause a disturbance. There's about a week in between, so maybe that's not enough time, but you make do with what you can. Money might be an issue, but Founders isn't at UAT, so I'm not sure how their budgeting goes. What technology could be used or developed to help support your initiative? Nothing, really. I mean, it's kind of simple. I mean, once they're installed, at least you could run a test, leave a room without maybe any curtains, and then just test the temperature with the thermometer in the rooms with curtains and the rooms without them, just to test my theory. But otherwise, no new tech should really be made. I mean, it's kind of a simple fix, but why should the organization implement this change in policy? The big reason is for cheaper bills. I mean, if they're going to be self-centered, do it for cheaper bills. But if they care about what the students want, it'll be cool to have nice curtains that can be open and closed at their expense, and a nice cooler room almost always. And it'll also be something to brag about. I'd rave about the dorms if I was more comfortable, but you know, that's just me. So what are the risks of implementing your solution and any delays, hurdles, etc.? So risks and delays and hurdles are time, how it's going to be found. Like I said, that week in between semesters may not be enough time. Also how quickly a budget can be made, because if this was to be implemented now, summer's pretty much almost here, and it's gonna be gross out soon. But like, this should be something that should be implemented in the fall, I think. But here's the timetable for that. Evaluation of my solution. How will you know your solution has solved the problem? Evaluate pre and post bill amounts. Honestly, the students will also notice a huge difference. I personally have blackout curtains hung up, but light still leaks through because I can't drill hardware into the wall. But even with a little amount showing through, it feels cooler in here, and I notice the AC unit is not on as much. How will you measure that your solution is effective? I mean, just look at the bills from the electric company, get a thermometer. I mean, I think the AC units on the walls have pretty accurate thermometers, but honestly not entirely sure. But yeah, curtains are definitely a step in the right direction. Otherwise, you might have to put insulation or better insulation in the building, and that might require demolishing the entire thing. So let's just start with curtains for now. And in the event of government or BARD pushback, identify parts of your plan that are non-negotiable and parts that you would be willing to compromise. Discuss why you would be willing to compromise and not compromise in portions. So there isn't much to compromise. I mean, worst case scenario, there's no budget to be made, but that's why rent goes up. We're not at full capacity, but say we have 200 students in the dorms, right? If they pay $10 extra in rent for a whole semester, that's 3 months. So you figure 10 times 200 times 3, $6,000. I mean, I think that might cover some curtains and hardware, but I don't know. You be the judge of that. So, but if anything, it would just be a delay to gather the money. But yeah, I'm hoping to see some curtains in here soon. It'd be pretty sweet. Anyways, thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed.